Welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley and I love makeup. I focus on indie and affordable brands, so if that's what you're into, go ahead and stop everything that you're doing. Okay, subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up and comment down below what is like your first makeup brand that really got you into makeup. And let's go ahead and get started with today's video. So you guys, this is a different video concept for me. I've never done anything like this. I hope that y'all are okay with it. Obviously, this isn't going to be something that's probably ever going to be done again or be done very often because, like, I wanted something to tie into my channel, and I really wanted to talk about what got me into makeup. So that's what we're doing today. And so basically the story is, I mean, I've always loved makeup, but I was always like a massive tomboy, like out playing with the boys, you know, but I've always loved makeup. And up until this particular point in my life that I'm going to get to, I only had access, I just realized I'm supposed to be doing makeup, you guys. What am I doing? So, but I only had access to drugstores like Kmart. I know, aging myself there. Walmart and Walgreens, I think, was really all that we had in my town where I grew up. So I'm gonna start doing my makeup, and the thing is, I'm not gonna show you what I'm using until the very end because this is kind of the palette that really got me into like other makeup brands, you know, and into where I am today and having this channel. So I had like, I mean, let's think way back in the day, because I am old, we had like Wet n Wild, we had L'Oreal, Maybelline, you know. I don't even think our stores even had hard candy back then. Some e.l.f. products, but we're talking not much to choose from. I mean, this was probably close to 10 years ago. So yeah, I didn't have much to choose from. I mean, I made it work with what I could get access to, but yeah, there wasn't a lot going on, you know, in the drugstore back then. And so an Ulta store opened up near me. And I honestly don't remember if the store had just opened up when I went in or had been there a while, because back then, not that I have like a lot of confidence now, but back then I had none. Zero. I was, you know, the thought of walking into a store where, like, in my mind, there were these like makeup artists who knew everything and were, you know, just doing all this crazy stuff, and I'd only had access to, you know, small drugstore stuff, you know, which again was not much back then, was just really, really stressful to me. And I was so scared to even go in. And so I think it was around Christmas time. And I was going out to eat dinner with my parents. And the place we went, I think it was like kind of across the street from Ulta. And I remember being like, oh, hey, if we're going to go there, you know, I just want to go into this, you know, this store, you know, this makeup store. But I remember being really, really nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not even going to know like what to do, what products are good, you know. So I go in, and I really do think this was the first time that I had been in there. And I walk in, and right when I walk in, there's this brand, and there are just these palettes, and they're beautiful, and they have so many shades in them. Because again, you guys, all I had been exposed to up until this point has been, I don't even know Wet n Wild had their like tin pans back then. I mean, we're talking like quads, those CoverGirl like trios, just very, very small things. So to see a palette with 20, 30 eyeshadows in it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like makeup heaven. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And it really was. Because, you know, back then, like I said, the selection was like next to nothing. I mean, nothing compared to what you would find in an Ulta store. So I was just so incredibly excited. And I just, of course, like I stuck to the drugstore section because, well, I still do that. I'm just a drugstore girly, you know. Don't get me wrong, I love my indie brands, my indie palettes, but if I'm going to Ulta, like, I still have never purchased, like, a true, like, luxury brand. Like, I have a couple TJ Maxx, Pat McGrath Labs palettes that I purchased, of course, at TJ Maxx, but they really weren't that great. So, I don't know. I mean, one day I do want to try, like, a true Pat McGrath palette just to see what all the fuss is about, but I just wasn't too excited with what I found at TJ Maxx. But I digress. So I'm in this store and there's all these amazing palettes, and then there's, you know, a couple other brands that I'll talk about later, but I remember just seeing this palette that I'm using right now and just falling in love with it and just thinking this is just the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, like all these beautiful shadows. And so I pick up the palette. I don't think I purchased anything else at this time. I think it was just the palette. I think I was just so excited about it. And so I picked up the palette, and I just remember just, oh my gosh, I just could not wait to get home, to get this palette out, to try it, to, you know, do all the things. And yeah, so this particular palette is kind of what really, because once I tried it and I loved it, and I'd been in Ulta, because like I wasn't really a big order things online at the time. Y'all, I just am like behind sometimes. You know, I mean, I don't know, I just wanted to go pick things up and, you know, get them myself and see things in person. And I was also worried, like, you know, if I ordered online, if it's busted, you know, all that. So I now all of a sudden had access to all these cool new brands that I didn't really know anything about. And so I think I went in and then I started purchasing like a couple other palettes, and just, you know, just realizing that there's this whole other world out there besides like Walgreens and Walmart and Kmart. And that's really what kind of got me where I was today. I feel like if I wouldn't have gone into Ulta that night, you know, I obviously, I'm like, I mean, I feel like I maybe eventually would have, and especially with everything being in Target now as well. But it just definitely opened me up to my love of makeup, just realizing that there's so much more out there than just, you know, a couple palettes here or there. So that's kind of what started my I mean, I loved makeup, but really what kind of got me into trying all these different brands and just falling in love with everything. Okay, I need to figure out what shade I want to go in with. You guys, this palette, when I show you, like, I started to clean up and I was like, no, I just need to show you like how old this palette really is and how loved it has been, because it's crazy. I'm just trying to figure out, and I don't want to show you guys yet because I'm not done with my look. My whole thing was I'm going to show you guys when I'm done with this what palette I'm talking about. And I don't know, I feel like it's gonna be a fun little show and tell moment. But you might have already picked up on what it was. Not necessarily the palette, but the brand, but that's okay. So many of these shades are similar. So I'm like, what do I really want to do? I think I'm gonna go in with this darker one. I'm just feeling this deep, dark, smoky moment right now. And still to this day, it's so funny because, yeah, there's Sephora too, but I'm an Ulta girl. I have only been in a Sephora, like, well, shoot, even the ones that are in Kohl's, I've only maybe 3 times. Like, I'm just an Ulta girl. I love my Ulta. I'm in there at least once a month. It's just, I just love it. I just love makeup. I just love getting to walk around, to look at it, see what's coming in. I just love it. Makeup is just my thing, you know? All right, you guys, so... I also feel like I've been doing like a lot more like neutral looks lately, which is different, but I'm here for it. I'm just loving it. And I do have some new palettes coming in, so I'm excited about that. I did pick up that Nomad Cosmetics Ghost Town palette. I know someone asked me if I was going to get it, and I wasn't sure. But I just seen so many beautiful looks with it. And I was like, you know, I only own 2 other Nomad palettes. So I'm like, I really want to pick this one up. It is beautiful. So I think that's actually going to be here tomorrow, which is Monday. So unfortunately, I won't be able to film with it until next weekend. But so then that video won't go up this week. But hopefully next week, that one will go up, you guys. So I'm really, really excited about that. I've seen some people doing some really, really cool looks with it. All right, I'm just going to do that lower lash line. Whoa, there was like a huge... Yeah, these shades have some crazy kick up, but also I think it's because they're so old. I mean, I'm not kidding. This palette is probably like, yeah, it's got to be like 7-ish years old, I think. But I mean, it's actually still performing really well for as old as it is, and I know that like that's totally not the shelf life of these palettes, but it was just kind of my first, I consider it my first like real eyeshadow palette, you know? So I just kind of kept it, and I'm glad I did because it's allowing me to do this video. So it was just a fun walk down memory lane, and I'm gonna do my mascara. I'll come back, I'll show you guys the palette, and then I'll kind of talk about my makeup journey after this palette once I get my mascara done. Just a quick little walk down how we got from there to here. Which I'm not sure I can fill in all the blanks, but I can kind of do pretty good. Alright, you guys. Let me go do my mascara and I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry if I lost some of my gumption. We had a huge toilet flooding issue earlier in the week. I repaired the toilet, thought it was good. I'm doing my video, hearing water running. I'm thinking my husband's in the shower. I go to do my mascara, come back. 2 of my lights are out, which means I need to find a spare battery, which was upstairs. And I go upstairs, my husband's not in the shower, the toilet's running. It didn't overflow, but it was just running. So I guess... I mean, I'd said the toilet's repaired, but I was like, just make sure that it stops. And I guess he thought that it stopped or it was going to stop. So he went to go lay back down and then it didn't. So we're going to have like a $500 water bill this month. On top of our skyrocketing electric rates. It's ridiculous. But anyway, back to the star of the show. So this is the finished look, you guys. And yeah, this palette is probably 7 years old. So if you guys probably figured out the brand, it's Morphe. And this is it's the Fall into Frost, which I think they called the 35F palette. Here's the inside. And just, you guys, I tried to clean up part of it, but then I was like, nah, just leave it. Let them see. This palette has been used so many times. I don't think I've hit pan on any of the shades though, but yeah, this is the palette that really got me into other makeup brands other than like Wet n Wild, L'Oreal, Maybelline. I know there's another major one that I'm forgetting. I'm just can't think of it right there, but an e.l.f. But yeah, back then, 7 years ago, you guys, the selection was like next to nothing for like eyeshadows, and you know I'm that eyeshadow girl. So yeah, I picked up this palette. I was so excited. It was like this magical moment in my life that I was like, oh my gosh, there's more out there than just what I can find in these teeny tiny drugstores. And on top of that, like still to this day, we're 7, 8 years later, maybe more, the drugstores around here, it takes months for them to really get new products in. So yeah, I just had next to nothing to work with. And so once I got into Ulta, saw this palette, saw what all there's out there, like ColourPop. ColourPop was a big one that I really fell in love with after Morphe. And then I think it was like Makeup Revolution. Yeah, that's kind of what started it all. And then I kind of, because I don't even think like around here, NYX was really in the drugstores at that time. So I know that I started trying a couple NYX products, some NYX palettes here and there. NYC, I don't think they're a thing anymore, or at least not around here, but that's another brand that I'd kind of tried, you know, at the drugstore. But just walking into Ulta just kind of greatly broadened my horizons, just introduced me to so many amazing brands. And that's why I'm here today. I still love makeup. If you're kind of like me, sorry, my hair is just out of control. And you're nervous to try new brands, you're not sure what's good, what's not, you're nervous to walk into a store like I was with all these makeup products and you don't know what's what, that's why I'm here today. You know, I want to try out all the products that I can, obviously, because I'm not monetized. I spend my hard-earned money on this channel. So I do have a couple affiliate codes, but I'm not like that popular or that cool to where I'm like making a lot of money, and honestly, like I may never get monetized, and that's okay. This is just something that I love doing. So if you're kind of like me, that shy, scared, you know, girl, or woman, whatever, and you're wondering, you know, like what products are good, what's worth trying, that's why I'm here. You know, I show you guys products that I love. I do try out new palettes here and there, but I, for the most part, can tell by looking at a palette, just looking at it. Like looking at, sorry. There's like just certain pieces of my hair that don't stick to the rest of my hair, so it looks crazy. But I can pretty much tell just by looking at shadows if they're going to be good quality or not, and if I'm going to like them. And I can tell you indie brands are where it's at, but there are also some really, really, really cool drugstore products out there. So that's why I will continue to feature those. And you guys, I think that's it for today's video. I think that's all that I have to say. I hope that you're okay with how I did things. I know it's a little different, but I just wanted to do a little introduction of what really got me into makeup, how I got here, and just to let everyone know, if, you know, if you don't have like a Sephora or even like an Ulta near you, because I know there are some places where you still have to drive a minute to get to an Ulta, or even a Target, you know. I mean, I think I have to drive about 15-20 minutes to get to a Target, but that's okay. You know, the products are there. You can always order things online. I kind of stepped back from Ulta shipping a little bit because it seemed like things were getting busted quite often. But I am lucky enough where I do have a store where I can just walk in and for the most part get whatever I want. And also, like, anytime anything was broken, though, I do have to say they would, you know, ship a new product out to me right away. There were a couple times where, like, I had this one, it was a Makeup Revolution highlighter, and for whatever reason, I think they shipped 2 or 3 to me. Each one was busted, and I mean busted beyond repair. Like, there was no fixing this. So finally, they're just like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Let's just refund you your money. And that particular highlight never came into stores, so I could never get it. And I think by the time I was gonna place a Makeup Revolution order, I think they no longer had them in stock. But that's okay, you know, there are highlighters everywhere. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Comment down below what product or brand really got you into makeup. Like, how did your makeup story start? And just remember that you are loved, you're amazing.